in a very wet and windy Augwin Valley here in Eryri. It's a place that means so much to me. I've been coming here since I was a child. Parents brought me and subsequently I came with my own children. And I just love it. There's just something about it that means so much to me. I came from Salford originally, where 6 blades of grass was considered a parkland. So you can imagine coming round here, you know, the Carnithai here, literally the start of the Carnithai, with Cwm Idwal, the head of the White Slope, fantastic name. And across the way, across the valley is the Glyders. Got Glyder Fawr, Glyder Fach, Igan, and of course the magnificent Tryfan. And over the next couple of days, I'm going to explore around here, somewhere I know really well, and take a few snaps and head on up at some point to Cwm Idwal. Landscape photography and weather roulette. Yesterday after recorded that, yeah, it's day 2. Yesterday after recorded that piece to camera, it absolutely hammered down. It was a deluge and a half. What made it worse was the wind was swirling all over the place, so consequently it was just smattering the lens and I couldn't do anything. So sat down in the car for a while, sat out as best as I could. The sun did come out later on and I went back over to where I was and took a few shots of the heather. Some nice pictorial stuff. But it wasn't really what I was after for today. I've done that sort of stuff before. It's really nice. So today, what I'm going to do is, it's looking a lot better. We've got a mixture of sunshine and showers, and I'm going to head on up to the Devil's Kitchen. There are plenty of places that you can go to. Photographically, there's some classic shots that you can get. There's some beautiful, intimate landscapes that we can manage to obtain. Today, my objective is to go up to the Devil's Kitchen, as I mentioned before, and look at the bridge that looks back down to Cwm Idwal and over to Pen. But you get a lot of tourists here, so it's nice just to sort of get out of the way as best as you can. And that's where I'm going, where you can see that ribbon of water just up there. Not as high as that, but a little bit lower. Okay, so I've just got myself into position. Light's really nice. So I've spot metered, that's the way that I work. I'm just a bit old school, I understand that. But it's just me, even in this digital era. The foreground looks fantastic. 0.6 grad, just to give the sky a kick. Focusing on the rocks in the foreground. F11 at a 60th, ISO 200. Timer on. Bingo.
Long after I took those photographs, I'd made the right decision and decided to pack up because, hey, it started to rain again, and this time it was absolutely bouncing down. Those of you that know me are well aware that I like to research a location that I'm going to. And I don't just mean how do I get there, you know, in this case for me it's the A5. But what is there about that specific location that makes it stand out from other places? Or if I go down to a river or a village somewhere, why was that village sited there in the first place? Is there a historical reason? I find that quite interesting because it actually makes me feel like I'm being more immersed into the landscape, and it gives everything a slightly different feel. But Cwm Idwal, it has its own special things. When you finally arrive at the side of Cwm Idwal, you realise what a beautiful place this is. It's always serene, even when there are people knocking around. The lake itself gets its name from Prince Idwal, who was drowned by a jealous uncle. And legend has it that no birds now fly over the water as a mark of respect, mourning his death. Don't believe that one. I've seen lots of birds flying around there, so I take that one with a pinch of salt. But as you arrive at the shoreline, what you will see behind you are 4 large boulders. And these boulders are incredibly important on a global scale. And I don't say that lightly, because in 1831, Charles Darwin turned up at the Cwm, had a look at these boulders, noticed they were full of fossils and thought, why are the sea creatures in these rocks 300 to 400 foot above sea level? And so this great investigation began. And I'm not going to go into it in depth. I'll put the links down below. You can have a look at it yourself. But subsequently, Darwin created his masterpiece, The Origin of Species. Very important to us as human beings. When you do arrive at Cwm Idwal, there is a visitor centre, and the visitor centre explains exactly the full ins and outs of what Darwin discovered, what he wrote about, and also the flora and fauna that exists around Cwm Idwal. I knew that the weather was going to be slightly inclement. I certainly didn't realise it was going to be that inclement, and I don't really think that the Met Office did, to be honest with you. Even the Mountain Weather Information Service didn't get it quite right. And that happens. But most of the time we can, to a degree, make the best of it. On this occasion, I managed to get a couple of decent shots, but I would have preferred it to have been a lot more dramatic. However, the key for me was to be out there and to enjoy myself, and boy, did I enjoy myself. I hope you've enjoyed this little film. By all means, add comments at the bottom, and what it does prove more than anything else is that Weather Roulette is alive and well. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next time.